Hi everyone, it's Angel from UK Decoupage Blanks. I'm just popping on to do you a quick tutorial on how I achieve my Crackle on decoupage. I do use Crackle pastes, the step 1 and step 2s, but sometimes they're hit and miss and they don't work, and then you've ruined a whole project. But I use now a Crackle stamp pad, which is this one. Not very big, only about the size of your hand, but it's perfect sizing to go where you want. It's nice when you've got an image that's got white in between, because you can stamp all over, but then you can get a baby wipe and wipe it off for the areas that you don't want. So that's why I like it. It's really nice. So I've just stamped all over it. It doesn't matter, because then you just get a baby wipe and you wipe it off the areas that you don't want. So, but I like it as on the end, and it's using, like I say, this stamp is from stamperia.com. Now, I didn't get this online. I got this from a craft shop somewhere, and for the life of me I can't remember where, but I dare say if you go online there's plenty of Crackle pads. And all I do is I use the acrylic paints that we've got on the website, and I just paint the back. You can do it whatever colour you like then as well, you know, it doesn't matter. And just stamp as normal. It's really good. So all you need is, I'm just going to show you on one of our square coasters, something quick and easy: a napkin, wet wipes, stamp, one brush I use for glue, and this is just a small scruffy brush that I use for dry brushing, and I'll show you why I need that afterwards. But whoops, it's just a brush that is no good for anything. Polyvine is for your heat resistant for coasters, which is brilliant, so we're using that one. And my favourite Decoupage, I need to put that into a jar. I can't even get the lid on now. So yeah, and your stamp block, Polly Pocket, and a piece of tissue to smooth it out, and that's pretty much it. A heat gun, pretty much it. It doesn't need a lot. It's simple, it's easy, and it takes the hassle out of doing a big project and hoping and praying that you've not ruined it. So alright, so let's get me stamp on there already. Pop that up there and put these ones to the side for a minute. So take your, I've already base coated this white like you do in any decoupage. Take your napkin off. You only need the top layer, if I can get it apart. There's one. And there's just dampen your fingers on a corner and they'll come off nice and easily. And then we glue the napkin on. And don't forget, if you do use Decoupage, the glue is a lot drier, so it might soak in once you put it on. So you might need that little bit more, but don't over soak it, because then that's when you're going to get bubbles. So pop your glue on. And then pop your napkin on and take your Polly Pocket and give it a good old smooth out from the centre outwards, and it helps the bubbles travel to the edge and the air get out. And if you've got any stubborn little areas, I find just going round in circles and it will shift them. There we go. Nice and flat. Alright, now as a rule I normally glue my napkins on, and then I don't glue over the top again. I go straight onto varnishing, because every single time I seem to add glue to a napkin it wrinkles, bubbles, and you worked your sorry, ruined your work. So, but in this is for this one, I'm gonna add another layer of glue and then varnish, because you need a barrier in between it. If you don't, and you stamp straight onto the napkin or rice paper and you try to wipe it off, it's just going to take your napkin off. It won't be no good. So I'll glue again, and then I'll add a coat of varnish as well. Again, don't put it on thickly, just enough to give it a light. As soon as you start really over wetting the napkin again, that's when you're going to get problems. That's all it needs. Alright, so I'll just stop for a minute and dry it, and I'll be back. Right, we're back again. All I've done is glued again. Once it's dried, taken off the excess with your nail foil. Just go downwards to get it off, just gently across the edges, because if you go upwards you're going to take your napkin off. Alright, and then I've gone over with one coat of heavy duty. It's heat resistant for coasters, so but it's the barrier you need. Alright, but it's going to take too long in between if I keep recording and waiting for everything to dry. So now's the fun part. So you need, I'm going to use chocolate brown, which is on the website. If you want darker, blues, reds, whatever, you can use whatever colour you like, because it doesn't matter how bold it is, you're going to dry brush over it, so it's going to dull the colour down if you don't like it anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So take a little bit of brown, I'm going to need my brush again, and then all we do is take your ink pad, don't over soak it, so just get some paint on your brush, but not so that there's loads and loads on there, because what it'll do is that will dip in between the little valleys on here, and then that'll make one big splodge. And just gently make sure you've covered all your areas. Just keep loading your brush little and often so you don't put too much on there. And the beauty with this is, if you put it on and you don't like it, you can just wipe it off and your project is not ruined. That's what I like. So then, I like it myself personally if the crackle is around the image, around these bits. I don't mind it going over these, because that's just part of like the background, but the main image I like to leave that as one. So actually, if I grab a wet wipe ready, so any wet wipe will do, doesn't matter, and take your stamp, and this more or less goes from side to side, so that's a perfect fit, and just stamp like so, and you have that. But like I say, we've gone over the flower, but it doesn't matter, because you can take your wet wipe, because it's been varnished. You can take it off, just wipe it off on the areas that you don't want it, because you've got that barrier with your varnish there, so it's not going to take your napkin back off again, which is what I like. You can use for little bits that you want to, you know, get into, use a cotton bud, just a damp cotton bud, and take it off. But this is what I like, because you can put it exactly where you want to. And like I say, I like to just leave the main image. If you've got a little area that you think that's a little bit heavy, just wipe it off like so, and then I'll do the same, pop a little bit more paint on. Like I say, do it little by little. Don't put a big lump of paint onto here and then put it on there, because as soon as they go into them little dips, it's going to splodge on your work. So now, because the crackle ends on here, just line it up where you were and just go again. Like so. And then get your wet wipe again, and where you don't want it on your image, your main part, or you might like it completely over there, that's entirely up to you. It's me being fussy maybe, but I just like the main part to be showing. Like I say, you get any pieces on there where you don't want it, just wipe it off. Like that one, I've just put my finger in it, but you can wipe it away. Yeah. Like so. I mean, now to me, that looks too bold. I'm not so keen on it that dark, but you might like it that way. If you do, just leave it. Leave it to dry and then varnish over the top again, because obviously it's heat resistant, the varnish, but you've put this on top of the varnish, so you need to go over the top again so that you don't pull this off. Alright, don't forget to clean your ink pad up just with a baby wipe, or if you've got the proper cleaner. I mean, it's only acrylic paint, so it's going to come off no problem. I dare say there's plenty of people cringing watching me use stamps like this, but it works and it cleans off perfect. And then I just dot it with tissue, and there's nothing on there, look, it's all gone. Okay, get rid of that one. Right, I'm just going to quickly blast this one again. There we go, all dry. Any excess paint you've got, as long as it hasn't got a hard film over it, just scoop it up and put it back in your bottle. It's fine, don't waste them. Right, now if you do want to dull this down a bit, this is what I do. A little bit of white, again on the website. You only need the tiniest little drop. As all you do is get some paint on your brush, fill it up and dab it off, like so, and then scrub it off. So it looks like there's nothing on your brush, but it's just dry. And then all I do is I go over the top. And you can see it dulls it from there to there. I think it makes it look a bit more vintagey as well, more like I suppose the crackled ceramics that you used to get. But again, don't worry if the white brush goes over your image. Just take it off and keep going. As long as your brush is just dry of paint and not soaking, is all it will do is dull it. But like I say, you don't have to do this part if you like a really harsh crackle. And like I say, if you get any pieces where you've gone over with the white and you don't like it, either get a wet wipe or cotton bud and just wipe it off. But I quite like it. It makes it look more vintagey. But just keep adding it where you want it. And that's transformed your coaster. Pop that in there. It's transformed your coaster from being plain to crackle. And then once this is dry, because even though it's a dry brush, it still needs to dry. If not, you'll just move it and smear it off. Just go over again with your heavy duty. I normally do, when I'm finished and I'm doing the top coat, so I normally do about 3-4 coats of this, and then you know it's really well covered and it's heat protected. But yeah, so that is how I do mine, and they're all so different, but really, really lovely. I love doing it. And that one, like I say, that's more of a cream background, but because you whitewash it down, it's lovely. It blends it all in, and that's obviously white. I mean, that one was quite a bit thicker, but once you put the white brush over the top, it's not so in your face. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed that. I know I certainly am. And it's going to be more using this technique now than what it is hassle with pastes and crackles and whatever. They're just so hit and miss. But hope you've enjoyed it, and I will speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye.